Wait 1 second. Yesterday, the entire world was watching one man, one moment, one number. Elon Musk crossed $1 trillion in net worth. Not a billion, not 100 billion, $1 trillion. That is a number so massive, most countries on this planet will never see that kind of GDP in their lifetime. And the massive catalyst for this? SpaceX. So let's dive right into this explainer and see what's really going on here. Section 1, the trillion-dollar moment. Let's break down exactly what triggered this unprecedented milestone. SpaceX, after being fiercely private for over 2 decades, finally went public. They flooded the market, selling 555 million shares. And in a single day, they raised a staggering $75 billion. For thousands of investors who had been waiting for literally years on the sidelines, they finally got their shot. Now, to put that $75 billion into perspective, just look at the previous world record holder. SpaceX just made Saudi Aramco's massive $25 billion IPO look, well, completely tiny in comparison. It blew it right out of the water. So at that initial IPO price, which was set at $135 a share, the company officially hit a valuation of $171.8 billion. Even at that baseline, we are talking about a completely colossal valuation for an aerospace company. But the second that stock hit the open market, things just exploded. The stock didn't just climb, it skyrocketed from $135 to $150 almost instantly. And it didn't stop there. That surge pushed the implied valuation of the company incredibly close to the unbelievable $2 trillion mark. And when that share price crossed exactly $141, something truly historic happened. Elon Musk's personal stake in SpaceX, added to his holdings in Tesla, xAI, and his other ventures, officially tipped over $1 trillion. Just like that, the world's first trillionaire was born right before our eyes. But here is the massive, critical question that nobody seems to be asking right now. Is SpaceX actually worth $2 trillion? Or are we looking at the single biggest financial bubble in human history? To answer that, we've got to cut through the noise. No hype, no fluff, just the facts. Section 2, beyond just rockets. Look, if you want to understand why investors went absolutely crazy for this IPO, you have to realize that SpaceX is so much more than just a rocket company. First up is their sheer dominance in space transportation. Today, SpaceX launches more rockets than the rest of the world combined. Seriously, the US, China, Russia, Europe, Japan, put them all together and they still fall short of SpaceX's numbers. Thanks to reusable rockets like the Falcon 9 and Starship, they have completely rewritten the economics of space travel. Then you've got Starlink. This is the hidden gold mine inside SpaceX that a lot of folks are totally sleeping on. It's providing vital global broadband to rural areas, the military, and the aviation industry. But here is the real magic. It generates monthly, recurring subscription revenue from customers all over the globe. Analysts are already projecting that Starlink alone could one day be a standalone business worth hundreds of billions of dollars. And let's not forget, we are living right in the middle of the AI boom. The artificial intelligence economy desperately needs 3 things to survive: data centers, massive amounts of energy, and a rock-solid global communication infrastructure. Through Starlink, SpaceX provides that exact global communication layer. So as the AI economy explodes, SpaceX becomes absolutely critical to that entire tech ecosystem. Fourth, and honestly, this is the really big one, the Mars economy bet. Elon Musk hasn't exactly been shy about his ultimate vision, that humanity shouldn't be confined to just one planet. We're talking permanent lunar settlements, Mars colonies, space manufacturing, asteroid mining, and interplanetary transport. So investors pouring cash into this IPO, they aren't just buying what SpaceX is today. They are placing a 50 to 100-year bet on human civilization becoming multiplanetary. Section 3, the Elon Premium. Now, what's absolutely fascinating about this insane IPO demand is that investors aren't just betting on the business model. They are betting heavily on the founder himself. It's a very real phenomenon known as the Elon Premium. History shows us that every single industry he touches, he disrupts. From digital payments with early PayPal, to EVs with Tesla, to space, and now social media with X. People gladly pay a premium because, well, history shows he tends to win. And to be fair, this premium is backed up by cold, hard facts. SpaceX isn't some unproven startup trying to sell investors on a pipe dream. They have highly lucrative government contracts, massive commercial customers, proven technology, and actual tangible revenue. Guys, this is not WeWork. This is a company that has already fundamentally changed how humans access space. Section 4, the 2 trillion bubble. Okay, let's slow things down for a second and impartially look at the serious red flag risks that mainstream media is kind of just ignoring right now. The first major concern, wealth concentration. As critics, including organizations like Oxfam, are quick to point out, one single man now controls more wealth than the GDP of most nations. This naturally raises some really fundamental questions about the democratic implications when one individual holds that much profound economic and political power. Second, we have to talk about the massive valuation bubble risk here. Pricing any company at $2 trillion assumes decades of absolutely flawless perpetual growth. But what happens if colonizing Mars takes 100 years instead of 20? What if Starlink runs into fierce, heavy global competition? Or what if those massive government contracts just dry up? A $2 trillion valuation assumes everything goes perfectly. And as we all know, in the business world, things rarely go perfectly. Third is the terrifying key person risk. Everyone buying in is betting on the visionary mind of Elon Musk. But you have to ask yourself, what happens to a company trying to literally colonize Mars if its sole visionary founder is suddenly no longer at the helm? Just look at history. When Steve Jobs left Apple, the company struggled immensely. And as analysts love to point out, Apple was just selling computers. They weren't trying to build cities on Mars. Succession planning at SpaceX remains a massive unanswered question. Ultimately, though, what we are witnessing with this IPO is a genuine, historic milestone. It firmly validates a massive transition from old economy wealth, oil, land, traditional banking, to an entirely new economy built on space, tech, satellites, and AI. SpaceX's massive public debut officially cements space as a major, undeniably real economic sector. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. This shift to a space-based economy has major implications for every country and every investor out there. But that $2 trillion question still remains. Is SpaceX genuinely worth this staggering valuation, or is this the biggest speculative bubble just waiting to pop in our lifetimes? We are going to find out over the next decade. Think about that, and I'll see you in the next explainer.